Alright guys, we are back. So we just got done the re-sign phase. Signed everybody that we needed to do. We did make a trade in the last video, trading away Alex Petrovic and Barry Holloway to the Florida Panthers. So sending back Alex Petrovic back to the team which he came from. And we got a third or a second liner that's going to help us out this year in Dane Fox. So I did ask you guys the question on whether or not you think we should let the guys like Victor Rask and Duncan Simons and Zabinajad and Ulf Bajork get signed by other teams so we could get their draft picks, or if we should just trade them away. And you guys overwhelmingly said that we should trade these guys away, and I do agree with you right now because the draft picks really just don't matter all that much left. We only have 2 years left. I know we should be preparing for a rebuild soon because it is going to happen fairly soon with this team because a lot of their salaries are getting pretty high, but we do need to trade some of these guys away and make some room on the team. So yeah. So and instead of signing, as much as I would like to sign, what's his face? Uh, Instead of signing a Gunnarsson, like a couple of you guys were saying, don't sign him just because he'll want like 4 mil and that'll take out a lot of your salary. Just get a defenseman that could just fill in for this year, and then get some guys. Prepare yourself for next year, and I couldn't agree more. So yeah, so we're definitely gonna trade some of these guys away. And what we're going to do is we're going to, no, we're not going to sign free agents. No, we're not going to use our phone. We are going to make some more trades in this video. It's probably going to be another one of these big trade videos. Hopefully, we can get a lot done. But I'm going to go to the trading block first, and I'm going to edit our defense. So, we know we want at least a top 6 defenseman. More likely, we want a top 6 defenseman. Age really doesn't matter all that much, but I'm going to crank that up to about 21 years old. It really doesn't matter all that much. I'm going to crank the age max all the way up to 50, just because it really doesn't matter. We can have a veteran right now. Potential range, I would kind of like at least 3.5 stars. That'd be good. Salary kind of doesn't matter, but we'll just leave it at that right there. And defense rating, we want it at least a three and a. Yeah, we'll leave it at 3.5 stars for defense. So we'll search for that. We'll search for that. See what we can find on here. Okay, so it looks like only Cam Barker and Nicholas Grossman, but their salaries are a little bit too high for me. So I'm going to edit this out, and I'm going to crank that defense rating up to 4 stars. No, we still get the same thing. Why is that? Potential range. That is probably why. Potential accuracy high. I'll leave it at I'll take the potential off. No potential. Doesn't matter who we search for. Let's see. So Trevor Daly, Wisniewski, Green, Kevin Klein. I think. Yeah, Kevin Klein. Kevin Klein wouldn't be that bad. Uh, he's got a really good contract too. 34 years old. 1 year left at 1 mil. That wouldn't be bad. His defensive stats ain't that bad. He's got pretty good discipline. His trade value isn't high all that much. We could just trade away technically some prospects. If we wanted to pick up Kevin Klein, what's his overall? He's 78 overall, but he is a defensive defenseman. Okay, so that's an idea that we could have. What else? What else? What else? Let me lower that a little bit. No, well, let me take off the defensive rating too. It really doesn't matter. Nah, I don't want to clear that. Damn it. Okay, we'll just search it like this. On defense, we'll just search like that. Apply. Actually, know what? Crank it up to 20. 20 years old. Okay, and we're gonna get 68. Yeah, I figured that. Okay, looking for guys with really low contracts. Simons, yeah, we know. Skip on him. Somebody with low contracts. Who's this Pedal guy? Roy Peddle. Um, who's he on a team with? Well, he has played in the NHL. He had a terrible year. Discipline. Yeah, he takes a lot of penalty minutes. No, thank you. Looking for somebody with a really low salary. 2.2. Volkanen. Eunice Volkanen. I think he's part of LA. Yeah, that discipline not looking too good. Diaby. Diaby. Jonathan Diaby. It's not bad. It's not terrible though. Penalty minutes still kind of racking up a little bit. Aaron Hoyles. Yeah, we know. This guy. Two-way defenseman. We had to trade him away. He's technically top 2 at 6 as well. Uh, Lekanen, yeah, we know he's all part of our team. Thoreau, Alex Thoreau, no. Uh, Grundle, Bystrom, yeah, a lot of these guys are just really low trade values. Okay, you know what? Instead of going through the trade block, there was actually somebody that kind of popped in my head. I want to see if they actually still have him. If they still have him, that might be a not bad deal to go for. And ooh, they do. They still have Nathan Beaulieu. Okay. Now, 85 overall, top 4 defenseman. He's an offensive defenseman, but he's got the good defensive stats. Discipline isn't all that bad. His penalty minutes haven't been too drastic. He only had 6 penalty minutes last year. He's got really good offensive awareness. He has a very good offensive defenseman. He could definitely help it out, and his defensive category does cover it up. He has 1 year left. Um, so he can just be kind of like a rental player that we have, or we could if he wants cheaper money. Because here's the thing: if we get Nathan Beaulieu, him and Joseph Morrow, I think are exactly the same age. If I'm not sure of, yeah, him and Joseph Morrow are both the exact same age. So technically, we could let Joseph Morrow go and keep Nathan Beaulieu because if whichever one wants less money, we could just keep them over, keep one over the other. So that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. You know what? Why don't we do that? They don't want to give him up, but we'll try to make this deal go through. So why don't we try to pick up Nathan Beaulieu from the Montreal Canadiens? Okay, so Montreal, what do you guys want? You want Victor Rask, so I probably would do that. Uh, that may go straight up. That could go probably a straight up deal. I don't know how good Montreal has been the past couple of years. So you know what? Why don't we try this? Why don't we try to throw in Victor Rask? We could throw in Duncan Simons as well, and maybe we can get a prospect back in return. We could get the first overall pick, for their first round pick, because it's not really that high. But let's see if Montreal has any prospects. They got 3 4 stars, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Um, they have Bozon, Tavares, and Klimchuk. Klimchuk's been climbing up there for the past couple. He hasn't really jumped up all that much. He's still a depth forward. He's not that bad. His offensive category is actually pretty good. He's been getting a lot of points in the AHL. He does have a really good slap shot. His offensive category would be enough to get him by in the NHL. Um, so yeah, he could technically play in the NHL. Um, we could maybe throw him on that. We could maybe throw him on that third line with either Coots, Dane Fox, and Nick Cousins together. We could have a really solid, nice young scoring third line. His defense isn't that all that bad. He's got good defensive awareness, so that's not a bad idea for Klimchuk. Bozon, he's a left winger. He's a second line left winger. 25 years old. Is he already on a contract though? Yeah, Bozon's on a contract. Tavares and Klimchuk. Okay. Tavares is 22, defenseman, a defensive defenseman with a 4-star rating, 6'7". Jesus Christ. Uh, yeah, so he's a defensive defenseman. But I think we got some pretty good defensive prospects, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we need to go after a defensive prospect. I mean, our defensive core is pretty young, and we do have Hedshaw, Keitner, Lekkonen's still pretty young. Lekkonen's only 23. Moeller is a top 2, but he minor league top 2, but he could jump and maybe be part of the team next year if we need to have a part of that. But our defense is really just kind of stable right now. Everybody's young. Nobody's older than 26. Had a little bit of lag there. Sorry about that. But nobody's really over 26, and we do have 2 19-year-olds as well as a 25-year-old who could probably come up next year if need be. So you know what? I think we could probably go after Klimchuk, Morgan Klimchuk in this deal for we're on defenseman. Where is he at? Yeah, we could go after Morgan Klimchuk because if we don't need to put him in the minors this year, technically, we can maybe just throw him on the NHL team if need be. You guys can let me know what you think about that. But like I said, his offensive stats are well more than enough to get him by in the NHL. 84, 96, 80, and 89. He's got pretty good power. So yeah, I think we'll try to make a trade for Morgan Klimchuk here. Okay, so Simons definitely has Klimchuk covered. Victor Rask has Nathan Beaulieu covered. They don't want to take both of these guys. They don't want to give up either of these guys, but they do. They want Victor Rask and Duncan Simons. And you know what? Let me see if I can squeeze in a second round pick as well for this year in this deal as well. So let's see if this goes through. If it doesn't go through, maybe I'll move this second. I'll just take off the second round pick. Maybe I'll move it down to like a third and a fourth. Actually, it really doesn't matter what the pick. Yeah, let's just see if we can get a second for this. So let's try this out. So Victor Rask, Duncan Simons for Nathan Beaulieu, Morgan Klimchuk, and a second round pick from the Montreal Canadiens. Will this go through? No, it did not. Okay, but the value is just a bit low. Okay, so they're not pissed off. It's just a bit low. What could we give up for them? We could technically give them our first round pick. It wouldn't be terrible, because I still expect us to be a good team. But I'd rather not do that. Okay, we can give them some of the shitty guys. We could give them some of our unsignees. All in. Don't we have a 3-star guy who we signed? Yeah, we do have a 3-star guy, but I kind of want to keep Kirkpatrick because I have a feeling he could jump up. So I'm going to keep him. Where's the other 3-star guy that we signed? Because I don't think we really need him all that much. Yeah, Michael Zubris, I think. Yeah, Michael Zubris. He's a power forward. I don't think we really need him all that much, and he's got decent trade value, so we can put him on the deal as well. Okay, so let's try this out. Well, Zubris, if we put Zubris on there, could we maybe get a first-round pick then? Nah, it's still a little bit too low. We'll just go for the second. All right. So Victor Rask, Duncan Simons, Michael Zubris for Nathan Beaulieu, Morgan Klibchuk, and a second-round pick. Will this one go through? No, the value is just, I think it's a second-round pick. We'll just get rid of it, and we'll take off Zubris. We can probably make a trade for him later. Okay, so we'll just try this out. Victor Rask and Duncan Simons for Nathan Beaulieu and Morgan Klimchuk. Will it go through? Yes, it did. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success here in Montreal, so we are accepting your trade offer. Okay, so we got a defenseman who could play defense for us. He can technically play top 4 now for us, which is pretty good. So we can let him, Nathan Beaulieu, get priority over Joseph Morrow. He's cheaper. He's really cheap, so we save some money there. And then we can make the decision in the next year if we want to keep Joseph Morrow or Nathan Beaulieu or both, depending on how much salary each of them want. Okay, so we got our defensemen covered. We got so we got those guys covered. Now let's take a look at our our contract situation as it stands right now. So that was actually a pretty good deal. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so if we take a look at our forward situation. Okay, so for the first line this year, we got Giroux, Galchenyuk, and Shattenkirk playing the first line fine. Second line, we got Braden Shen, Jeff Skinner, and either Dane Fox or Sean Couturier on that second line. You guys have to determine which one we want to do with that. Third line is going to be Sean Couturier or Dane Fox, Nick Cousins, and then probably either Sean Monahan, Jaden Hart, or even Morgan Klimchuk, or we'll have to go out and sign a free a third liner, so which I may want to do because it looks like we do have a decent amount of salary cap left, or we could trade the because the next part we have to do is trade Zibanejad and BOJoeKO, and then the fourth line is going to be uh one of those guys, which would probably either be Monahan or Hart. And then we can even technically play Klimchuk on the fourth line. It wouldn't be terrible. But okay, so that's that. Well, now let's take care of Zibanejad and BOJoeKO. Okay, so we need to trade those guys away. Now, I don't know what I could get back for Zibanejad and BOJoeKO, but we'll have to see because their trade values ain't that bad. I would like to get maybe a third liner, if possible, a really cheap third liner. No, let's try to look for do that in the trading block as well. So let's look for a let's edit this block. We're looking for a forward, primarily a third line checking. Well, can you just put third line there? You have to put either a checker or a scorer. I'd rather do a checker. Age, I'm looking for probably like 21 to 50 as well. It doesn't matter what age. Potential range 3.5. Salary doesn't matter. And defense, probably same. I want 4-star defense. Let's apply that. Let's see who comes up for this. taking a while. Pete and Eric Wellwood, that's about it. Now, Pete's cheap. Philip Pete. He's 80 overall. He's got 5-star defensive category. Discipline ain't that bad. Um, Philip Pete. And how much is he making? He's making 1.1 for one more year. We could maybe sign this guy as well. There's going to be a lot of renting players this year. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of renting players. So you know what? Let me take off potential range. I'm just looking for third line forwards with a defensive category of at least 4 stars. Let's try to look for that. Okay, 9 players come up. Okay, Pete Wellwood, Smoskowitz, Brooks Lake. He's making way too much though. Bouchard, Bergeron, Tolliver Bergeron. He's got 86 defensive awareness. His shot blocking and stick checking aren't that good. He's 5'11" though. He's a scoring line forward. Did I have scoring line forward? I wanted a checking line forward. Yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter. Okay, let me search that again. Okay, so Smoskowitz, Brooks Lake, Bouchard. Nah, Pete would probably be the best guy who we want to go after. I don't know, depending on how much he would ask for next year. And I think he's on a team, so let me see. Commit to those changes. Yes, let's commit to those changes. So he's on Anaheim. He's got a pretty decent trade value. Do they want? They do want Zibanejad and BOJoeKO. Let's see. So they do want both of these guys. Would that equal Pete's? I think it would equal Pete's salary there. We could do that. We could technically do that. It's just going to be, I have a feeling, guys, there's just going to be a lot of renting of players this year. And then we're going to have to, once again, just completely rebuild again year after year. But, yeah, this wouldn't be a bad deal to make. We could get another decent third liner for this team. And, yeah, his offensive category is not that bad as well, but I really like him for that defensive category. His face-offs ain't that bad, so we could probably put him on the wing. We have better guys that can play defense. So, yeah, I kind of like this deal. Let's see if this one goes through. So, Mika Zibanejad, Ulf BOJoeKO. Can we get something else? I don't know. I think that would... Okay, let me see. Zibanejad's... I think him and BOJoeKO have the exact same thing. So, what is that? Middle of A. Yeah, so that would equal... And Pete's is at... Middle of A. Yeah, this might just barely go through. So let's try this out. Mika Zibanejad and Ulf BOJoeKO for Philip Pete. Will this go through? No. The pros, as you sent us more than one player to fill us, we'd consider taking Mika Zibanejad if you want to try again. I have a feeling I'm probably just gonna end up trading these guys for some prospects because I think it'd just be better off just trying to sign some guys in free agency because they're just going to be much cheaper. Yeah, you know, why don't we just try to do that? Why don't we try to just trade these guys away for a 4? I would want a 4.5-star offensive prospect. That is definitely one thing I would want, though. So let's go back into the trade block, and let's. How do you clear this? Clear that out. Okay, so we want a forward, player role any, minimum age. I would want somebody hopefully NHL ready, so I'm going to go from 20 to about 24. Actually, no, at 23. Potential range, I want 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 stars. Salary doesn't matter. Let's apply that. Let's check out these guys. 20 to 23, 4.5 stars. Search yielded no results. Fair enough. We'll do 4-star then. 4-star prospects. Okay. Let's see. Eddie Watt, Dykev, Fontaine, Kavanagh, Canone, and LaCosta. Okay, let's try to go up for the 23-year-olds. Eddie Watt. He's got some pretty good, decent defensive stats already. He's a two-way forward, so that wouldn't be bad. Dykev, he's a sniper. I don't think we really need snipers all that much. Fontaine, he's got green. A lot of these guys have green stars too. Kavanagh, nah, too young. Canone, no, not really. LaCosta, no. I think the best one would go after would be Eddie Watt. I think he's a part of Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, he's part of Florida Panthers. All right, so we'll have to see if we can make another trade here to Florida again. And okay, they want Zubris too. Yeah, they do want Zubris. Okay, that'd be good. So we could probably get this deal done. Okay, so let's throw in Zabinajad, BOJoeKO. Yeah, we'll see if this goes through. I doubt it will. So Zabinajad and BOJoeKO for Eddie Watt. Will that go through? We'll just have to sweeten it just a touch. So we technically could throw a draft pick in here as well. I'll give you guys a 3rd round pick for that. Will this go through? Yes, it did. Okay, on behalf of the Florida Panthers organization, I accept your trade offer. We'll see you on the ice. Okay, so I knew that was going to happen. We were going to get a prospect in return for him. I just didn't see it happening, getting a 3rd liner. So, all right. So now we need to go to contracts again. Like I said, this is going to be a very long video. Okay. Now I keep switching back. Okay, offense. Let's take a look at it one more time. Overalls, yeah. So Galchenyuk, Giroux, and Shinkruk, line 1, Shen, Skinner, and Dane Fox or Coots on line 2. And line 3, Dane Fox or Coots, Nick Cousins, and then let's see, so Dane Fox, Nick Cousins, and then either Hart, Monahan, or Klimchuk. And then 4th line would probably be Hart. Let's just pick somebody to get on the 4th line for now. Fox, Coots, and no, Fox, Cousins, and we'll just pick Jaden Hart for right now. And then 4th line. Actually, you know what? I think I really do want to give Klimchuk a shot on this team. His offensive stats are right there. I think that we can give him a shot on that 3rd line because we can have a really good offensive scoring 3rd line because we really only need that one good defensive person on the 3rd line. And Dane Fox has a very good defensive category. Coots has progressed very well into a very good, as well as having a nice defensive category as well. And he's got some great offensive awareness. If we look at Nick Cousins has a decent defensive category as well. It's good enough to get you by. His offensive category is pretty good as well, so he could get by in the 3rd line. I think that's all we really need is as long as Coots or Dane Fox is on this 3rd line defensively, he can cover up for everything while either Cousins and either Hart, Monahan, or Klimchuk take care of the offense on the 3rd line. So I think I'm going to give Morgan, unless we can find a decent 3rd line offensive player as well, and then we could throw Klimchuk in the minors, and then Hart, Monahan on the 4th line. So we really have to make a decision here. And let's see here. Let me think for a minute. If we put Coots, Cousins, Klimchuk, and then Hart, Monahan, then we would need to search for a 4th liner or 3rd liner that could play the 4th line. We do have some salary, so we technically could go. You know what? Let's go in the free agency, see who they have. Let's go in the free agency and see who they have. So we have 4.2 mil to work with, which is pretty good. It's a decent amount of money we can work with here. Okay, so search by role and for forwards. Okay, so Riley, Wellwood. No, Wellwood's going to be too much. Well, we technically could get him back. Salary's going to be a little bit steep, but I want to have a little bit of salary left over. Okay, so Brad Marchand maybe? Nah. Matt D'Agostini? Nah, his defense really isn't up to par. Darren Helm? Darren Helm wouldn't be bad. His defense is pretty good. So Darren Helm maybe. Michael Latta? Nah. Corey Emerton? Nah, maybe. David Legwan? No. Tommy Wingles. Let's try to look for these like 3rd and 4th liner guys all the way back here. We could get Selena back. Nah. Latundris. Latundris wouldn't be bad. He doesn't rack out the penalty minutes all that much. So Latundris maybe. Brandon McMillan. McMillan has some good discipline. He's a left winger. He's got good face-offs. Defense isn't that bad. Then we get into the younger guys, sort of the 4th line. Here's Winnick. Winnick wouldn't be bad. He's got some pretty good, decent stuff down here. Stortini, no. Andrew Shaw, nah. He's lacking the discipline. Krill Kabanoff, nah. Well, maybe. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see about that. Krill Kabanoff. Nah, he doesn't really have the shot blocking. He's a sniper now. I'd rather not. Ryan Jones. There are better people. Matt Kennedy. We're getting into like 70 overall guys. Let me sort this by overalls. Marchand Iroello. Nah. I want to go past like a certain like overalls too. Santorelli. Mike Santorelli. Santorelli wouldn't be bad. I want somebody with really good defensive stats. Brandon McMillan, no. Muller, no. Latundras, no. Shaw, no. Augustine, no. He didn't have any good thing. Oscar Ossola, or Ossola, no. Poitsy. Poitsy's got some good defensive awareness. Discipline's a little bit bad, but he can lock up for he's a grinder. Vinker, no. Now we're getting into like depth forwards as well. Samuelson, no. Okay, so let's see here. Best guy that I think we found was, I think Darren Helm wouldn't be a bad choice. 83, 80, 84, 84. He's got some good defensive stats as well as having face-offs. Lada, I don't know. Let me go down here to the fourth lines. I want to try to save some money here. Santorelli's not that bad. Well, he's a depth forward. I want to see Brandon McMillan. Brandon McMillan wouldn't be bad. Winnick. Daniel Winnick wouldn't be bad either. You know what? It's fourth liner, 1.4. You know what? I think we can maybe get Daniel Winnick, and then save some money and hopefully sign somebody else. I'm just trying to analyze it right here. Who would be the best available? Who is the best, like, defensively available? Because we would have to overextend for some of these guys, possibly. Let's see. Is there anybody interested in Darren Helm? Are there teams interested? There's no other teams interested in him. So he wants a 2-year deal. I would want to give him 1 year at 2.7. And he would want 3 mil. I would have to up that to like 2.7, and that would bring us to about, what, 2.7 to, that would bring us out to about 1.5. Nah. I would want to get Darren Helm, but it's just going to be a little bit too much. So I think the best possible person next would probably be either Brandon McMillan or Daniel Winnick. You know what? I think I want to sign Daniel Winnick. Yeah, 1 year at 1.5 for Daniel Winnick. I'm going to do that. I'll do that for Daniel Winnick and maybe Latundras too. Maybe Latundras to play that fourth line, just in case. I want to sign these guys just in case. Yeah, you know what? I think I may want to sign Latundras. Let's see. Well, Winnick will take off about 1.6, and that'll leave us with, trying to think. That would leave us with, almost dropped my controller. Okay. Okay, 1.6. What's that? 1.6 minus 4.2. What is that? I can't do math right now. 4, 6. That'll leave us with 2.6. That would leave us with 2.6 mil. We could sign like a, we could sign a Latundras. He's a grind. You know what? Yeah, we can. We'll sign Guillaume. I don't even know how to say that his first name. We'll just sign Latundras. No other teams are interested in him. 1.2, 1.219 for 1 year for Latundras. We'll do that. We'll do those deals. No, I think that'll definitely work out. And we'll simulate up. Is there any other people that are unsigned on our team that we need to get rid of? Let me just make sure. Years left. Just these guys, really, and the 3-star guys. We really don't have to worry about them all that much. We could trade them away, but we'll probably do that before the season starts. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So you know what? I think we'll get to the end of free agency in this video. Yeah. So we'll simulate up a day. Keep simulating up till those guys sell. If those guys agree on something, then we can see which prospects sign. Okay, so Daniel Wimmick accepted. Latundra's accepted. So we still have $2.3 million to work with here. Why? There's probably like some guys that are on 2-year two-way contract. Okay. And yeah, all right. So we'll get our free agency here. And is that all we really need to make? Let's just take a look at our contract situation before we go any further. Oh yeah, we need to sign some rookies too. How many guys do we have under contract? 36. Yeah, we can sign some rookies. Okay, so let's take a look here at our forwards situation. All right, so let's just take everything into consideration. So goalies. Yeah, I would like to sign a backup goalie if possible. A better backup goalie than Grice. Yeah, that'd be cool if I could sign a better backup. Yeah, okay, so we'll do that. And but I might have to trade away Grice just because. Well, I'd rather sign somebody first rather than that. Okay, so Gordon Peckham is starting every game. We know that. Well, mostly every game. Defense we got handled with Murray and Theodore, then Pulock and Beaulieu, Joseph Morrow, and Arturi Lehkonen starting this year. Good. So defense is fine. Forward situation, Giroux, Galchenyuk, Shinkruk, Skinner, Skinner, Dane Fox or Coots, Nick Cousins, and maybe Morgan Klimchuk, and then Sean Monahan, Jaden Hart, and then either Winnick or Latundress, whatever one we want to put in there. That's if we want to put Klimchuk. If we want to put Klimchuk on that third line, then if we do or don't. If we want to put him on that third line, then Latundress and Winnick play the fourth. If we don't want to put Klimchuk on that on the third line, we want to put him in the minors for one more year, then we put either Latundress or Winnick on that third line, and then the fourth line will be Monahan, Jaden Hart, and then either Latundress or Winnick on the fourth line. So it's all about a decision here. Then we could use one of those guys for depth for the playoffs. So it's all about whether or not we want to play Morgan Klimchuk on this third line or not. So you guys will have to help me out with that. But other than that, I think our forward situation is under control. So, yeah, let's move. Oh, yeah, we want to see if we can sign a backup goalie.